Welcome back to the Grand Slam channel. Today is Monday, December 16. Hope you all had a great weekend. We got two NFL games for tonight's slate. We got the Vikings versus the Bears. That's the game that I'm going to be focusing. Should be a good game. Then we got the Raiders versus the Falcons. I think that's going to be a blowout on the Falcons side. So I'll probably do one or two props for the Falcons and the Raiders. I'm going to focus mostly on the Vikings and Bears. Last time they faced a couple weeks ago, it was a high-scoring game. Both quarterbacks went over 300 yards, so most likely I will be targeting them too again. Probably play it safe and take their gobbies. But let's get started. I do want to mention NBA also. We do have about 6-7 games today. Check your promotions tab. There might be a discount with James Harden points. Not sure if I'm going to take it. Might be a bait, but I'm going to be taking about 3 or 4 props on a slip that I'd like to share with you. But just keep in mind, check your promotions tab if you want to take part on that discount. But let's get started with NFL first. And like I mentioned, both quarterbacks from the Vikings and Bears will be my targets. Be taking both of them in passing yards. You can probably get them actually lower on sleeper, parlay play, and underdog. You can check the lines over there. You can also lower them. Obviously, here you can take the gobbies as well. But I do like the original lines. Caleb Williams went over 300 yards last time he faced against the Vikings. He had 340 yards, one of his best games. Same thing with Sam Darnold. He won well over 300. He had 330. So both quarterbacks, I'll be taking the regular lines. But if you want, you can take them a little bit less, maybe a point less or two on other platforms. Those two definitely be on my slip. Next one I'm going to be taking is Jordan Addison. And for him, you got several options. You can take his receiving yards, his fantasy score. I'm going to be taking his receptions at 4. Last time against the Bears, he had 8. Even if he regresses, he should still cover 4. That is my third leg. Another one I like to mention, but I'll have him on a separate list, is TJ Hawkinson. He had a huge game against the Bears. Same thing with him, receptions or receiving yards. Probably best receiving yards for him. He had 114, but usually average between 50 to 60 yards. He's going to regress from that 114 against the Bears last time out, but he should have a good game. So receiving yards and receptions are his two best options. Next one is Bijan. You gotta have Bijan on your list. I think he's gonna go off against the Raiders, and he's probably the strongest prop I have for that game. For Bijan, you can take his rushing yards, receiving yards, his rush and receiving yards together, which is at, I believe it's at 115.5. This is probably gonna get bumped further. I also like his fantasy score at 20, solid 20. But Bijan Robinson, I'm going to be taking his primary will be his rushing attempts at 17.5. He's been averaging well over 20. If by some miracle the Raiders do keep it close, Bijan Robinson should go over 20 rushing attempts. I think the only time he didn't go over against Denver was at 12, but he's averaging well over 20. Even if he becomes a blowout, he should run the ball a lot in the first half. He should cover that line at 17.5. And my last leg I'd like to mention is Ray McLeod. For him, I do like his receiving yards at 39.5. It's probably going to get bumped further, but I'm going to take a shot on his fantasy score. If he cashes his receiving yards, he should easily cash his fantasy score. I think he's just going to have more than about 4 or 5 receptions, probably get in the end zone as well. But he's been playing very, very well lately. So I'll be taking the over on his fantasy score. And those are the 5 I'll be running for Monday Night Football. We got 2 games. Let's head on over to NBA. First one I like, obviously, unfortunately, it is on the popular play tab, and that is Keontae George. 2.5 rebounds. He's been averaging 4 or 5 rebounds for the past 2 weeks. You can see his past 5, he's gone over. This is probably going to be taken off the board or probably turned into a gobby. So hopefully you guys get this in. Hopefully it's not a trap. 2.5, the fact that it hasn't been taken down yet from Price Picks kind of worries me. But 2.5, hard to pass up. Other books have them at 2.5 or 3. So hopefully you guys get this in. This is probably the best prop on the board. It's going to get taken off. It is in the popular play tab, which I dislike. Let's head on over to LaMelo Ball, coming back from his minor injury. I took him at 34.5 last night on his PRA. I also like his fantasy score once it gets posted. Rebounds and assists, I am waiting. He should be my player of the day. I'm just waiting if there's any news on his minutes restriction or anything. But LaMelo Ball should be on your slip. PRA, points, rebounds, and assists, points and rebounds. I prefer his fantasy score once it gets posted. But as of now, I took his PRA last night at 34.5. Just wait on his fantasy score to get posted. Going against Philly, I believe Embiid is out. So LaMelo Ball should feast. Even if he's on minutes restriction, he should have a good first half, which you can target his first half. Let's head on over to assist. And for Donovan Mitchell, I do like two of his props. I do like his assists at 4.5, and I also like his 3-point made. If you do take his 3-point made, I prefer you take his Gabi at 2.5. It's still a high-paying Gabi, but for some reason, everybody's on his 3-point made. So I'm just going to play it safe and take his Gabi at 3-point made at 2.5. Still a good payout, a little higher payout than a regular Gabi. Next one is Mobley. And last time we took him, he was a reboot, a DNP. I believe he got minutes in the first quarter and then was taken out. I think he had a minor injury. But I'm going to target with him at PRA at 26.5. I do like his fantasy score at 36. Last time he was at 38.5, then down to 37. He's all the way down to 36. Going against the Nets should be a blowout. The Cleveland Cavaliers should take care of this game, but the Nets have been showing some promise. For the Nets, you can probably target Cameron Johnson, but I think it's going to be a blowout, which was a big reason why I'm targeting Mitchell's assist at 4.5. You can take his 3-point made as well, like I mentioned. But Mobley should have a good game, should good bounce back. And that's pretty much it. These are the props I like for NBA today. Obviously, we got Jokic, Sabonis, that you can target as well. But I do like these props. These are good matchups, and Daily Grind Fantasy does have it at a 53% hit rate to go over. I think one more I like to mention is, let's see where he's at, is Yabusele. Like I mentioned, Embiid is out for Yabusele. I do like his rebounds, and that he is at 5.5. I think on other platforms you can get it at 5, but Embiid is out. He should feast on rebounds. He had 12 last time, and it was without Embiid. He's probably going to regress a little bit, but he should clear his 5.5 line. So I'll probably be this a sneaky pick and throw it in there on one of my slips. Other than that, mix and match. Mix it with your NFL props. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you want more additional slips. I do have a Discord. I post on all platforms daily. Other than that, have a great day and see you guys in the next one.